Well, that last night Trump took the stage, bold as brass, talking about the winds that kick the swamp's ass. Economy booming, borders locked tight, no new wars raging, peace in sight. Brought jobs back home, taxes cut low, veterans honored, watch the good times flow. He listed them out, clear as day, but the Dems just sat there free. But the Dems threw shade, acting like fools, disrespecting heroes, breaking all the rules, heckling and hollering, boycotts in the hall, snubbing the hockey champs, ignoring the call. They call it protest, I call it spite. How while Trump's making history under those bright lights. Yeah. He pinned medals on folks who serve with might. Eric Kirk, our two shining bright, but the left side of the aisle wouldn't stand or clap, sitting like statues, taking a nap. The women's hockey team, gold medals gleaming, snubbed the invite, what a liberal dreaming. Trump praised the grit, but they turned him down flat. Guess winning for America ain't where it's at. Oh, the State of the Union, what a sight to see. Trump dropping truth bombs, setting America free. But the Dems threw shade, acting like fools, disrespecting heroes, breaking all the rules, heckling and hollering, boycotts in the hall, snubbing the hockey champs, ignoring the call. They call it protest, I call it spite. How while Trump's making history under those bright lights. Outside the Capitol, protests in the street, Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis heat, LA burning with anti-America chants, while Trump's inside crushing their socialist rants. Counter speeches flying, calling him a liar. Catherine Clark skipping, fanning the fire. You'll see boycotts, 5 Dem events in tow, but Trump's crowd a roar, stealing the show. They shout and they boo, won't stand for the flag, disdain for the press, what a sorry old rag. From Epstein survivors to ICE folks set free, Trump honors the real ones, but Dems disagree. They heckle the heroes, ignore the gains, while Trump's listing victories, breaking their chains. It's deliberate spite, like their playbook demands, but sea. Trump dropping truth bombs, setting America free. Dems through their tantrums, acting so rude, but the red, white, and blues in a winning mood. Heckling and hollering, boycotts, what a joke. Snubbing the champs, going for broke. They call it resistance, I call it defeat. Trump's America's king, can't be beat. So here's to the Donald, making us proud while the haters just whine, crying out loud. God bless the USA and Trump's golden throne. Last night's soda, he owned it alone.
Hello, everybody. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth right here on Starship Adventures. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight to the show, the day after the big State of the Union address, and we've had a day to digest what happened last night. We've had a day to reflect on the childish, petulant behavior that we saw from the left, whether it was the counter protests, the childish yelling and screaming. They did everything but throw fruit at this point. It was crazy. Also, last night we had the frog protest, which I'm showing a video of now right above me. This is from last night, frogs protest. It says it's live, but I'm 90% sure it's last night. There's the giraffe guy. This all is last night. But you may have missed this, as I did not have this live coming in during the speech. So it is what it is. But I'm showing it tonight. This apparently is the frog protest. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the significance of frogs. I thought the frog in Portland was a Portland thing. And maybe I somehow got that miscombobulated, as they say. I don't know. I have to admit, I don't understand any of this. Just like we have Trump and all, I think it'd be neat if I could live in their world for 5 minutes, so maybe I could try to figure out what the hell they're thinking. I don't know. All right, anyway. And there goes. As soon as I put something up, it goes down. That was JRL or whatever investigates, JLB investigates, and he's was at the Guthrie House this evening. They're turning the frogs gay. I don't know. Could be. That would certainly help control the frog population. Anyway, all right, so where are we at tonight? Well, anyway, my name's Ian. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth on Starship Adventures. And I've gotten so quick at making music, I'm literally just making music custom every night sometimes. And that song you just heard was written specifically for tonight. It's a throwaway. I'll still throw it in the file so you guys can have it if you want it. But it's really cool. I use Suno and Grok. I make the lyrics and I make the style on Grok, and then I transfer that over to Suno, where I add a name and a little bit of flair, and I press go, and it makes me 2 versions of each song for a nominal fee. It'll make you 8-minute songs. It's really good. How can you tell a frog's gay? I don't know. I'm not sure. What about the giraffe? I don't know. Does it matter? I don't care what giraffes do in their bedroom. Anyway. Oh, boy. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to look for something else to plug that hole with up there. Let me take a quick peek here. We got some audio tonight. I got all kinds of really cool stuff I'm going to play for you guys. We're going to watch from the State of the Union address last night. I'm not going to cover a whole lot of Donald Trump because I got to tell you, the man, I think he reached a new height last night. He was just petty enough. He didn't go too far. Every now and then, even Trump goes too far for me, and that's pretty difficult because I like rude and obnoxious. Is that Ed? Was that Ed? Oh, okay, Mama. I'll go let him in. Come on, Ed. You want to come in, Daddy? No? Okay. Come on up and see everybody. This is Ed. He's got a big, huge gash in his head. I don't know if he was fighting or what. Come get your injured ass up here. Say hi to everybody. This is Ed Earl. He was originally going to be Earl Grey, but Carlotta said, no, we're going to name him after the sheriff on the best little whorehouse in Texas, and he became Ed Earl. Is that right, Ed Earl? That's right. He's a beautiful cat. He is a pet store cat. He wouldn't have lasted 3 hours in a pet store, and he would have been sold. That's right. Size doesn't matter. It's more girth than length anyway. So don't worry about that. Let's see. I don't know. I tell them I'm on air. Mama over here, she's co-hosting right now, but has she contributed anything to this broadcast so far? I mean, come on. Mama, get off your ass. Go do some research. They always give me the same excuse. I don't have any thumbs. Anyway, whatever. Cats. Lazy ass cats. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yep, that's Ed. He's a steel gray. We've got Maya, which lives down the street, bus stop kitty. She's a blue gray. I've got another blue gray in the bedroom. He's a little more steel than she is, but this one by far, this one here is steel gray. And you know what? He's 10, and cats start turning gray when they reach 10 or 12 years old. Guess what? He's turning brown. He's browning. He's not graying. He's not turning gray. He's turning brown. I guess that's what gray cats do. I don't know if you're talking to me, Wind and Raven. I'm not sure, but welcome. Welcome into the show. My name's Ian. I'm the host of the Sights and Sounds of Earth show, which comes on at 9 p.m. Eastern every night, and this is it right here. That's right. We talk about everything on here. I don't go crazy with the crime drama stuff, and I don't cover a lot of fiction other than science fiction. But I do a lot of earth sciences, propagation, radios, ham radio. I do a lot of things that have to do with science, like earthquakes and volcanoes and hurricanes and tornadoes and storm chasers. And we actually have, that's Radar Omega, you see right there. And we can actually not only track storms, but we now can track them in 3D. And we can also track all the storm chasers and all the live cameras on here. We cover live events here as well. So this is Starship Adventures. Welcome aboard. And we are broadcasting live tonight from Starship Studios in Southwest Florida. And I don't have my regular view right now because the cameras are a little wonky since I got back from the parade. I don't know what's going on, but this is Starship Adventures. And from here, I have another whole side over there with 4 more screens. And I've got 4 workstations in here. As a matter of fact, I have several people that work out of here from time to time when they're in town. And I do a lot of different things from in here. It's my ham radio shack. It's also my workstation where I can dial into the radio station and work from here if I need to. But also, primarily, it is my my broadcast location for this show and for a lot of our programming here on Starship Adventures. From this room, I can talk on about 9 different bands. On the radio, I have multiple communications, multiple redundant internet communications, connections, redundant power supplies with 3 generators, set up about as well as I can do it on my budget. So there you go. This is Starship Adventures. This is Starship Studios, and we are live from Southwest Florida. Welcome aboard, everybody. Now let's get back to the grid and see what we got going on out there. In the upper right, we've got the volcano called Fuego, and Fuego Mountain is in Guatemala. And you'll know when it goes. The camera angle sucks tonight. I'm hoping they fix it. There's some kind of bright light washing it out. Normally, this is a great view, and she has been pissed lately. So she was spitting again last night. So we're going to see if we can get some more eruptions from Volcano de Fuego mountain in Guatemala. There we go. And also, like I said, I've got the frog protest right up here from last night. I got Fox Raw above that. And over in the middle there, I got two screens. One's blank. The other one is showing that the non-protest that's going on. It's funny, the YouTubers are showing up every night because I guess they need the clicks and the ratings. Trust me, I understand. But the protesters are not. The local media is not showing up because there's nothing going on. There's no protesters. There will be probably in the next few hours, there'll be 3 or 4 people show up out there in in inflatable costumes and shit, and they'll be doing their thing. And so there you go. What? I think it was a great State of the Union. I will admit, I don't know about you, Ed. Did you watch the whole thing? I'm not sure if he watched it or not. But I'm relatively convinced that that's probably the height of his entire career. It was a great speech last night. The way he hit the Democrats, oh my God! I've got audio, I've got video. We're gonna be doing all that here in just a minute. But I do want to play this one here real quick. This one's hey Ed, you're right in the way, but that's all right. That's all right. All right, give me just a second here. I want to play this 3 minutes here. Oh, for Christ's sake. Okay, so what we got here, let me get this up there and let me put this here. All right, yeah, what we got here, what happened last night was at one point, Donald Trump looked over at the Democrats and he says, here's what we're going to do. And I'll let you hear the rest. And you can just imagine the Democrats look like shit right now because they sat their ass in that seat instead of standing up when they should have stood up. And Trump, some people are saying it was a trick. Some people were saying it was a fast one. Some people saying it was a joke. No, you know what it was? It was marksmanship, and he was right on the mark. Oh my God, dude. Holy crap. I want you to see this. It's really good. And we'll get into it later. And yeah, before we get it, maybe we'll get a troll tonight and I can do a nice long Trump and all. By the way, I released a video today. Can you guys please go watch it for me? It's 8 minutes long. Just watch the whole thing if you can. Hit the thumbs up. It is my best Trump and all read yet. And I did it all with a little bit of music behind it and graphics at the ends, and it looks kind of cool. Because a lot of people are saying they keep missing my Trump and all live read on here, what we call a live read, like a live endorsement basically, and some people are saying like that they miss it because it's only like 6-8 minutes long in a 3-hour broadcast, and I only do it a couple times, 3 times a week. So a lot of people are missing it. So I went ahead and just made one up and posted it as a video. And I'm going to try to get back to making more regular videos. I don't do enough of those. I understand that. And I'm wanting to get back to doing more of those. So anyway, here, let me get this put in the right spot. You got to put it in the right hole or she gets mad. All right, so let's see here. Let's get this up here. And there you go. All right, there we go. There's Sleepy Shithead there, and we're gonna play this. I want you guys to watch this, and then we're gonna discuss it.
Believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislature.
Okay, what browser is this on? Jesus God, just absolutely amazing. All right, hold on, guys. I gotta move. It's Windows, man. Windows 10. At least I can do it. With Windows 11, I couldn't. I just wouldn't bother even trying to play it for you. All right, let's move this to cable C, pass through, and there. That should work. I don't know why that's not working, but let's try it.
Believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislature to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Mic drop right there. Mic drop. Look at them all sitting. Look at them all sitting. He's motioning towards the Democrats. Scumbags. Scumbags. Scumbag.
Protect American citizens. Your support. Then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
I am so sick of this frickin' thing. All right, let's try this again. This is right here. If you listen to what he just said, okay, let's play it one more time.
Principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
How can you not stand up for that? How can you not stand up for that? Everybody should stand up for that. Good guys, bad guys, men, women, black, white, everybody should stand up for that, okay? Even foreigners, I mean, if you know what's right, you should stand up for that. A country should always protect their citizens before they protect illegal aliens. And so, he got them here. I mean, this is a gotcha here. Because they were told, you sit on your ass. Nancy Pelosi was sitting back there in the back, along with Pocahontas and a bunch of other ones. And I'm telling you, Nancy Stretch Pelosi had given the order already to sit your ass in that seat and don't stand for nothing. A couple times they stood for like a couple of medals, I think, but nothing really. And this one here would have been the one where they should have broke the rules. They should have stood, but they can't because they've banked everything they've got on the illegal immigration that's going on, because that's how they're going to backfill for the top of the decade and the next census. So that's the whole thing. They have to support it. This is an 80-20 issue. Trump knows it. Anytime it's an 80-20 issue, okay? Anytime it's an 80-20 issue, meaning that 80% roughly of the country agrees and 20 or so percent of the country disagrees. That's an 80-20 issue. Trump is tackling everything 80-20. Immigration is an 80-20 issue. Almost 80% of the people want illegals deported. People on the left, people in the middle, people on the right. They want illegals deported. So they're supporting a position that will never get them reelected. This is how stupid this is. And now they just double down on it. They just double down. This is, I'm going to tell you something. You know what the headline was on Fox a little while ago? $1 billion is going to be spent running this clip right here for election time. I want you to think about that. They're estimating billions of dollars are going to be spent playing this clip. Because if you were running against one of these pricks for Senate or House, if you're running against one of these pricks, this is what you run right here. This is your ad. He made it for you. He paid for the production for you. All you have to do is take this ad, wrap it in a little bit of music. All right? Bob Smith was given the opportunity to stand for the people of his area and for the people in this country, and he sat on his ass. Can you imagine the ads? I mean, think about it. Can you imagine the ads? This has wrote thousands of ads. This is going to play in every market everywhere. This will become huge. What in the hell are they doing? Hey, Ed, I can't see. I want to play it from the beginning. I'm going to let it run all the way through this time, or at least I'm going to try. Trey and I both have this problem, letting clips run. I'm going to let it run. I want you guys to see how he handles it towards the end. I'm going to let the whole thing play. It's 3 minutes. Here it is.
So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
I love it. Disgusting. Look at them. Look at them. Anti-American pricks. Now, the generals and the judges can't stand. They don't stand. They don't have an opinion. But the Democrats do. That should lock down the White House for at least a decade. I agree. Look, they're still sitting. Everybody else still standing. He knows he's doing the wrong thing. Look at him, prick. The person next to you is standing and clapping because they put America first. He's like, God, I hate my life right now. I should have stayed home. Yeah, I can tell you're excited.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up.
That's
you
right.
You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases,
look at that
drug
bitch yelling.
lords, murderers all over our country. They're
Sorry, I
blocking
used the word
the
I'm not supposed to use
removal
again.
of
Whatever.
these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
USA, 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 USA. My favorite chant in the whole world. See, they chant all this bullshit. Hell no, we won't go, and ICE sucks, and F ICE.
And perhaps
We chant
most
USA,
importantly,
USA.
I'm asking you to
USA.
approve the Save America Act.
And see, do you see he picked the perfect moment to interject that, because that's the big thing of the night right there. This is the voter ID. We have got to get to where every single person that votes is a verified citizen of this country, and we've got to get to where everybody that casts a ballot has a photo government identification, and it is verified. We have to do this. And the reason they fight against this so vehemently is because they can't win without it. They can't win. All the states that they win in, all the blue states that are always blue, have open voting laws where you can just go in and say, yeah, I'm so-and-so. Hey, Ed, can I help you, buddy? What you need? You want a book? Which one do you want? You haven't been reading much lately. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, she's not of our culture. It's pretty obvious. Look how she acts at the State of the Union address. They're all acting like petulant children and pompous pricks, but she was acting like a child that just didn't get the lollipop out of the vending machine or whatever. That's what she was acting like, yelling and screaming and acting like a bitch. She's lucky. Because if I was the sergeant of arms, they'd have hauled her out in irons. The lone silencer, I completely agree. Down here, we use machines. We do. But let me explain. We use paper ballots. Okay? And most of the time, we use just paper ballots, and then those are fed through the machine and you confirm that your votes are correct. Then the paper is kept. That's the important part. Places that are 100% digital, gotta go. It's gotta go. There has to be computer over paper. It has to be both. Okay? There has to be a computer record and a paper record generated at the same time at the polling location. Period. I want both. We need instantaneous vote counts. We need to know what's going on. We need to be able to see things ahead of time. So we need things to happen fast. But we also need to be able to forensically go back and completely dissect everything that's going on. Go through each and every ballot. Okay, so I think that's very important. So we do it right down here in Florida. If you remember, Florida was the home of the hanging Chad. If you guys remember that, those of you who are 30 years old and older might remember hanging Chads. We used to have punches in here, and you would punch the ones you wanted. And what was happening was the paper would not completely rip out. And then when you drug the card out, it would push the paper back up in the hole again, and you would get no vote. And they were trying to challenge the election on that and everything else. It was the hanging Chad controversy in Broward County. Our Broward County is the most corrupt county in Florida. They always have problems there with corruption. It's like a center of corruption. And it's funny because Miami does things a lot better than they do. Yep, the swinging Chad. And so what basically happened was Florida cleaned up their voting. And now with DeSantis, Florida's really cleaned up their voting. Like I said, we have computer over paper, meaning that you fill it out on paper, You scan it through the computer and make sure that it's scanned properly, and then you certify your vote and you walk away. And now the machine has the data, which gets instantaneously sent in. However, the actual permanent record is kept for 15 years or whatever. And that way we have a permanent record of you coming in that day. Yes, the only place is another thing. The only place you have to wait to find out the vote count is places where it's generally left of center, places where they cheat, places where they make up ballots, places where they show up with suitcases full of ballots the next morning and they're still counting. And you know who's famous for this? Inland areas of California. They'll take areas that are plenty conservative, but that vote will get hung up for 35 days. And when it finally comes out, the Democrat will have won by 300 votes or whatever. It's just amazing how it works. But they literally will put it on hold until they can make up the votes they need to make up in order to win. It's very difficult to win anywhere in California if you're a conservative, because the entire system works against you. Yes, and that's another thing. Broward's the most corrupt county. Orange, about probably the second most corrupt. And those are your two most liberal towns. Those are leftists. Anytime leftists run a town, it's corrupt. Yeah. No, the official vote, Victor, you're correct. The official vote takes a long time. And when there's mandatory or voluntary recounts, sometimes it can take even longer. I agree with that. But instantaneous votes should be damn near instantaneous with computers nowadays. When we close our polling here, they report 80% of our vote within 10 minutes of our poll closing. It goes right out. I mean, right out. And Florida, we sometimes know who the governor is before the panhandle even closes. They're not even supposed to release that information, but it all starts coming out. Yeah, and the blue cities, and especially the blue states, they're the ones going bankrupt right now. They're the ones using all the resources from the federal government at the same time that places like Florida are putting it in. We don't owe anything. We are debt free down here. Our entire state is debt free down here. That's, as we say down here, that's the way we roll. We just don't do it all. We don't do all the debt. So anyway, let's see what else we got going on here. I wanted to play a few more of these clips for you guys. Let me see which one I got. And of course, the Democrats now saying that by this guy, by Trump doing what he did, it was racist. They're literally saying that what you just watched Trump do was racist. Okay.
What did you think about that moment when the president was asking Democrats to stand up for American citizens during that part of the speech when he was talking about immigration and immigration enforcement efforts?
I think you can agree with the what, like standing up for American citizens, but I disagree with the how. And so it's always about how do we bring our country together, but not stand on the backs of others. There's thinly veiled racist language, anti-immigrant language in what he was asking, and that was uncomfortable.
What did you think about that?
So she didn't stand up because Donald Trump's a racist and a Nazi, probably, right? Isn't that right, Ed? That's why she didn't stand up. I mean, that's a decent reason, right? I mean, you're standing, right? I don't know. You guys have to figure that one out yourself. What is with these Democrats? I mean, they demand respect while they're being disrespectful. I don't understand it. This is funny. See, Nancy Pelosi has been doing insider stock trading. She's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This woman is rich beyond the dreams of avarice. Okay, and she literally has been insider stock trading for 50 years, okay? She is just crazy rich. Get off the keyboard. Jesus, God. Oh, my Lord.
For America.
See, she's good about keyboards because she lives in here and she understands it. That one is not good with keyboards at all. All right, let me get this one set up here. This is a great one here because Nancy Pelosi, like I said, she's been doing this insider trading bullshit for so long. She's made herself millions of dollars. And guess what? Donald Trump addresses it here. He wants to put an end to inside stock trading by congressional people and by senators and things like that. And so he's going to say it, and then he's going to call her out. This is why he's the master troll.
Let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
Look, they stood up. There's Pocahontas. Here, look.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up and say so? Doubt it.
I doubt it.
Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
There's Grumpy Guts. Oh, golf clap.
I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to.
So there you go. He literally calls her out. He is the master troll. I love it. He literally calls her out. He goes, is Nancy Pelosi here? Did she stand up? Because she's been doing this for 50 years. He didn't have to say that, though, because we already knew it, right? Oh, my God. That's just great. And, of course, another thing that Donald Trump's big on, which I think is a fairly important thing here, is this.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
Yes! Yes! Yes, they're losers, too.
Amazing. Governor. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
Look how they dress. She's got a white coat on with writing. I mean, look how these people dress, dude. She's wearing like a white suit jacket with graffiti written all over it. What with a military a medical caduceus over here on the side and something about don't kill. I don't know, maybe something about I work at an abortion clinic or something. I don't know what it says. What is up with that? I don't... Look how they dress. Look how they're all... I get so sick of these anti-American fools. I just can't stand it anymore. Man, oh man. They're just jerks. They don't know what they're doing. They lead with their heart and they make mistakes at every turn. You know, some of the worst mistakes that have ever been... made out there are being made by Democrats. If you look at it, look at the stupid shit Biden did. And it's taken Trump a year just to get inflation down under 2% again. Biden had it up almost at 10%. He shut off the border. He's got that done. Okay, we just lost our feed out of Portland. I'll go in a minute and see what I can find, but we just lost the feed out of Portland, and we lost the feed from Guthrie's house. Both have gone down. There's nothing going on at either location. So it's 10 o'clock. People are packing it in. Well, it's 8 o'clock and 7 o'clock, but whatever. People are packing it in, apparently. Now, these liberals we're talking about, they're nuts. I mean, they're literally crazy. And when people say, "Oh no, they're not crazy," no, they are crazy. We talked about this tonight on the air, on the regular commercial radio station. These people are truly nuts. They're genuinely bonkers. They hate the world. They hate their country. They hate their state. They hate their president. They hate everything. They love people that came here illegally. They hate people that were born here and live here. I don't understand it. They are for things that hurt the country. They're against things that help the country. I just don't understand today's Democrat. I just don't understand today's Democrats. I can't quite figure it out. But I want you guys to see. One of these women is on TV. You'll recognize her. I don't even know her name because I don't watch that horse shit. But you'll recognize her. This, if you ever had to wonder if they were crazy, guess what? They're crazy. I mean, you don't. Hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna show you. Here it is. Watch your ears.
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. Imprison us all day. Hey. Woo! I think I did okay. You did amazing. Yes. You get an A. I don't give grades, though. We just go on vibes, and the vibes were immaculate.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
See, she says it all right there. We don't give grades. Meaning everybody wins that's in my presence. It's a typical liberal statement. I don't give grades. Everybody wins. What in the hell just happened there? While Donald Trump's inside talking about fixing the world, talking about all the wars he's ended, talking about all the things he's done, talking about getting the inflation rate down by 8% in 1 year, talking about doing things that have never been done before, things that are great for this country. And meanwhile, the funny farm out here, out on the mall, outside the Capitol building, somewhere down the mall, they've got this set up out here, and they're having this protest, and they don't ever scan the crowd. You know what that means? There wasn't one. That was the shit show on the mall last night. That's affirmative. I think I'm going to use this as my opener.
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas.
My host, Trey Radel, who is absolutely fluent in Spanish and actually speaks 2 or 3 different dialects of Spanish, assured us today on the air that what that woman is speaking is such crappy gringo Spanish that even the Mexicans couldn't understand what she was saying. That woman doesn't speak Spanish. And she's like, oh, nobody knows it. I don't know what she's saying. The Spanish people don't know what she's saying. I guess it really don't matter, does it?
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas.
What did she say? 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun?
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas.
No, it was scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, diced, and topped. That's what it was.
Imprison us all day. Hey. Imprison us all. Woo! Okay.
He calls it gringo Spanish. Really bad gringo Spanish. That's what he called it. Oh, gringo. I don't speak Spanish either, but I admit it. No, that's not normal Spanish. It's not anything. In fact, what she was trying to say there, we had callers calling in that speak Spanish. We have a pretty big Latino audience on our Fox station. our Latinos down here, especially the Cubans, the guanos, as they call them, those guys, man, let me tell you something. They are so conservative. They listen to our show. They love Fox News. They love 92.5. They love Trey Radel. And so they were calling in, and they were all taking a guess at what she was saying. It was something about you can't put us all in prison, I believe is what she's saying. We never were sure about the second half. But anyway, yeah, if you guys can figure it
The
out.
wedding in Carcelarnos told us.
Something about Bill and Larson had a toga. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Something. Yes, it's Spanish Bonics or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know if I want to know what it is. But anyway, yeah. So this is what was going on out there when you guys missed stuff last night. This is what was going on. And of course, the other thing that was going on was this right here. I'm not even going to switch the screens. I'm just going to pull it up. Here it is. This is the Giraffe Man thing that happened. This was the Democrats' counter State of the Union event, and it is, people are calling it the State of the Democrat Party speech, and here we go. Yes, I have to load everything twice. I don't know why. Here we go. See if we can get the play here.
I'm fresh out of an ICE prison in Minneapolis. I've been arrested 3 times by ICE over absurdity, over us being ourselves, over me singing songs like, "Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, get rid of brown people for me. I'm Aryan white, there ain't no place I'm going to." And then all of a sudden, these not ready for primetime player ICE agents with 2 weeks of training come after me. I got arrested in Portland. I got arrested in Minneapolis in the last 3 weeks twice. But they can't erase a movement, all right? What I went through is 1/1000th of a lot of marginalized people and what they have to go through in those ICE detention centers. And I want to tell you something right now. There's an announcement. Pumpkin Spice Satan is making his way to the State of the Union. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to rev up the show right now. We're giving out prizes. We're going to have bingo. We're going to storm the White House with love and compassion.
You guys think I'm joking, right? No, I'm serious. You guys think I'm joking? I want you guys to notice the background here. This is defiance.org. This was an official event. But 3 or 4 of these orgs got together. And while Donald Trump was talking about the future of this country and stopping wars across the globe, okay, and while those 2 dingbats were singing their song, okay, this was going on at the other State of the Swamp rally that they were having. And so now you've seen 3 of the different shows that have gone on. 2 of the other shows that went on while Donald Trump was doing his State of the Union address. So who can take these people seriously? They show up for protests in dinosaur outfits. I mean, who can take these people seriously at all? All right, so let's see here. Yeah, let's hear what Schmuck Schumer has to say about what he wants to do. He wants to just legalize 11 million of these people right away, and that way we don't have to chase them down anymore. I mean, come on, dude, seriously. This is Schmuck Schumer on the Joe Scarborough. What a moron that guy is. On Joe Scarborough. Here we go.
What would an immigration deal look like between Republicans and Democrats in the Senate?
Well, we had a good model in 2013, as you may remember, bipartisan. John McCain and I headed the Gang of Eight. We had 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, including Marco Rubio, who's now gone to the other side on this. But we could come
What side's that? The dark side?
up with a bill like that. It toughens up the border. It gives a path to citizenship, a long, tough path to citizenship for 11 million people who are here. It allows high-tech people.
It allows 11 million people who came here illegally to stay. That's like saying, well, the guy burglarized my house and he did his laundry, but hey, he straightened up and he cleaned the bathroom. So, you know, I told him, dude, just stay in the front room. Give me $100 a month. Christ.
Who are needed in our industries to come in, but it was a bill that got 70 votes in the Senate, or 68 or 69. It got Democrats and Republicans. That's the way to go.
What would an immigration deal look like between Republicans and Democrats in the Senate?
Well, we had a good model in 2013, as you may remember.
What a douche. He's talking about in the past when these assholes are always wanting to just make everybody legal. And yeah. Now, the last one I want to show you here, this is a great one here. This is on CNN. And this one, a CNN person is talking about, I always have to load these twice. I don't know why. A CNN person here, a contributor, and he is talking about who is going to run for the Democrats against who's probably going to be Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance as a ticket, and who's going to run against them. And so here we go. He's going to talk about it here. Listen to what he says. It's pretty funny.
They're all running, and this is just a downright clown car at this point on the Democratic side. I mean, just take a look here. Top choices for the 2028 Dem-Pres nominee. You have a leader, but it's not really a clear leader. It's within the margin of error. You have Newsom at 19%.
Newsom.
Then you have former Vice President Kamala Harris at 18%. Quite a weak number for her, given that, of course, she was the nominee last time around. Pete Buttigieg, who, of course, has run before, 13%. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at 12%. This is just a total clown car. It is a total mess. There is no clear front runner at this particular point on the Democratic side. Who the heck knows who the nominee is going to be in 2 years?
It's been a long time since we've had a Democratic race like this.
Yeah, it has been a long time. This is very unusual for the Democratic side to not have a clear front runner at this point. National early poll leader at least 25%. Look at this. This year, we get the giant question mark. No one. In 2020, when there was no incumbent, it was Joe Biden who was there, Hillary Clinton in both 08 and 16, and Al Gore in both 2000 and 2004. At this point, we're at least at 25% of the early polls. You have to go all the way back from when I wasn't even in elementary school yet, not even in pre-K yet, to 1992. That was the last cycle in which there was no clear front runner at this point. Very unusual.
Just to be clear, this isn't predicted because she didn't win in this primary and he didn't run. But this gives you a sense of a year out. So what about Newsom? What are the prediction markets saying his odds are?
Yeah, okay. So it seems to me that Gavin Newsom is flailing a little bit, at least compared to where he was prior. Because just take a look here. Okay, Chance Newsom is the 2028 Democrat.
Yeah, he's flailing. He's flailing, all right, after all those really racist comments he said. He walked into a room full of black folks and said, hey, guys, I'm not that smart either, so we can relate. What an idiot. What an absolute bonehead.
Democratic nominee 3 months ago, according to the cash prediction market. Look at that. It was a 37% chance. Now it's just a 28%. Down he goes. He's definitely flailing a little bit. And I will note, John, that it also seems to me people are a little less interested in Gavin Newsom than they used to be. Look at this. Google searches for Gavin Newsom down 63% from the August peak. You remember back then it was when he started that social media, going after President Trump. There was a lot of interest from Democratic voters, but maybe that interest is waning off just a little bit. And of course, you don't necessarily want to wane it off just yet because I think we still have a lot of time till the votes are
There is still some time to go. Harriet, thank you very much.
Well, there you go. Basically, what you got there is you got CNN leftists that are actually they're not happy about the fact that there's really, they're in trouble. There is no bench right now. There is no bench right now. Let's see here. All right. This just coming in, the FBI did one final search of Guthrie's home today. They went and did a couple things there, and they have just, as of about 30 minutes ago, they have released that home back to the Guthrie family. And they now have control of the property again. So that's the news we just got from Fox News there, that that has happened. They have turned the house back over to the Guthrie family, which it's been under FBI control for some time. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was pretty messed up that it literally CNN was bashing the fact that there is no good candidates. That's literally what was going on. So they're literally bashing the fact that there's no good candidates at all. All right, so look at this. We've got a mess going through the greater Nashville area right now. Heavy rain in Nashville. We can pull this up here on Radar Omega. This is Nashville IPS, if it'll come up. A little sluggish tonight. I don't know what's going on. But you can see there, it is raining like crazy in downtown Nashville. And that is this storm system moving through right here. And points east as well. I got a friend here just south of Knoxville, Nikki. She's getting some rain. She's got a YouTube channel also. Talking Life with Nick, I think is what it's called. But she is great. Her and her husband are great folks. We go visit them when we're up in the mountains. And then my cabin's down here, and then Heath's over here. So, some little bit of rain moving through up there, too. I don't know if Heath's in tonight, but probably a little bit of light rain coming through. All right. Man, there you go. There's a lot of rain moving in here towards Johnson City, too. That just, this is Pinnacle Tower in Irwin, Tennessee. And, of course, it's not going to come up, of course. All right, let's see. Boy, there is a lot of... I wonder if this camera, like their headquarters, is right here, because there is so many cameras right in this one area right here, and then there's whole states with no cameras, because it's just one network. But anyway, here we've got some pretty heavy rain moving through here. Look at that shelf coming through. So there you go, some heavy rain. This is just moving into this area. It hasn't been raining there that long. All right, let me take a minute here. Yes, I get asked a lot, why don't we cover overseas stuff more? And I'll be honest, there's about 5 reasons for that. There's a lot of them, okay? Number one, I'm not as familiar with overseas stuff. I don't really... Hey, there's Heath. I don't get involved that much. I don't study overseas stuff. I don't get involved in foreign politics unless it's something we're directly discussing on one of my 2 shows. I really don't have a lot of deep knowledge. I'm not as worldly as I would like to be. So that's one reason. And I'm just being honest. Another reason is it's hard to get reliable, viable feeds, and it's hard to vet those feeds when they come in from other countries, especially like from the Middle East. So many of these feeds we can get are simply just repeaters. They've been repeating the same content over and over and over again for weeks. And there are a lot of scams out there, a lot of people putting up stuff that's not real. And when it's from outside the country, it's hard for me to vet them. Now, I've been around this country a lot, and I've covered news for years, and I'm a retired fire chief, and I have some law enforcement credentialing. I did that for about 8 years. And so I'm pretty good at sniffing out bullshit. But when I start covering stuff on the other side of the world, I really don't know what's bullshit and what isn't. So that's the second reason. The third reason is most of my audience is in the United States, and therefore they're primarily interested in things that happen within 1,000 miles of their home, and that's simply just statistics. That's nothing else. If I had a country that I suddenly started getting thousands of subscribers from, other than the United States, then I would start trying to diversify my coverage a little bit. Sure, and finally, I think another reason has to just be the fact that there's only so much time in the day. And I try to devote the coverage to stuff that's more local. We have stuff going on here every day in this country, whether it be protesting or something going on, severe weather going on every day. We've got something going on somewhere. And so I don't generally widen it out. That doesn't mean I won't do it. I don't have a strict policy. If there's a big something going on, I have put up, there was a big, that's Mama playing with my remotes. There was, all the farmers were running their tractors through town over, I think, in the UK. We covered that one night. That was cool. But I was relatively sure it was live. I was able to see the BBC was out there live. Sky News was out there. I was able to kind of vet out what was going on. And yeah, we did. We covered that one night. That was cool. Well, there you go. I don't care to go to Venezuela, but if you want to, go ahead. I'm a bit of a xenophobe, believe it or not. I've been to Canada a couple times, years and years ago, but I'm really a xenophobe. I kind of just like to stay home. I don't have any desire to go to other countries, none. We have a huge country here. And inside this country, we have some of the biggest wonders in the world and some of the most beautiful parks, the most beautiful places from ocean to the Gulf of America. We've got just an amazing place here, and I could spend the rest of my life, and I plan to. I could spend the rest of my life just in this country alone, just doing this country alone. It's all I need to do. So I've never been all that interested in going to other countries. I'm really kind of a homebody. But that said, we really welcome folks from other places, and we want you to experience us and our culture and become part of our show. I have several folks that come in from the UK, and I routinely have folks in from Canada. So it happens. Let me see. Is this just an ad up here or what? All right. Let me go here real quick. I'm going to take a look and see if I can find anything live. And I'm going to take about a 7-minute break here. Okay, guys? Not even that long. It'll be about 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I'm going to play a song I wrote tonight for this, and I got two different versions. I played the first version earlier. I'm just going to play a song for 5 minutes while I run to the restroom, and I try to pull up a few videos. So you guys stay with us. Don't leave just because I'm playing a video for 5 minutes. We are not going anywhere. We do have the second half of the show coming up. So stay with us. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth, live on Starship Adventures, and we'll be right back after this brief commercial break. I will leave the screens up so you can see the dancing frogs. I know how much you guys like them. But anyway, here we go.
Well, last night Trump took a stage, bold as brass, talking about the winds that kick the swarm's ass. Economy booming, borders locked tight, no new wars raging, peace in sight. Brought jobs back home, taxes cut low, veterans honored, watch the good times flow. He listed them out, clear as day, but the Dems just sat there looking away. Oh, the State of the Union, what a sight to see. Trump dropping truth bombs, setting America free. But the Dems threw shade, acting like fools, disrespecting him. statues taking a nap. The women's hockey team, gold medals gleaming, snubbed the invite, what a liberal dream. And Trump praised the grit, but they turned him down flat. Guess winning for America ain't where it's at. Oh, the State of the Union, what a sight to see. Trump dropping truth bombs, setting America free. But the Dems threw shade, acting like fools, disrespecting heroes, breaking all the rules, heckling and hollering, boycotts in the hall, snubbing the hockey champs, ignoring the call. They call it protest, I call it spite, while Trump's making history under those bright lights. Outside the Capitol, protests in the street. Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis heat. LA burning with anti-America chants, while Trump's inside crushing their socialist rants. Counting speeches flying, calling him a liar. Catherine Clark skipping, fanning the fire. AOC boycotts 5 dim events in tow, but Trump's crowd roars, stealing the show. They shout and they boo, won't stand for the flag, disdain for the press. What a sorry old rag. From Epstein survivors to ICE folks set free. Trump honors the real ones, but Dems disagree. They heckle the heroes, ignore the gains, while Trump's listing victories, breaking their chains. It's deliberate spite like their playbook demands, but America's waking up, taking a stand. Oh, the State of the Union, what a sight to see. Trump dropping truth bombs, setting America free. Dems threw their tantrums, acting so rude, but the red, white, and blues in a winning mood. Heckling and hollering boycotts, what a joke. Snubbing the champs, going for broke. They call it resistance, I call it defeat. Trump's America's king, can't be beat. Making us proud while the haters just whine, crying out loud. God bless the USA and Trump's golden throne. Last night's soda, he owned it alone.
All right, guys, welcome back. This is Starship Adventures, and we are live here in North Fort Myers, Florida, broadcasting worldwide on YouTube. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and tonight we are watching a number of different things going on around the world, including Fuego Mountain in Guatemala, where we are expecting additional eruptions this evening. And then we also, in the center view now, this is live. This is Califield Lives, or Lives, Califield Lives. And he gets a lot of views there. And he just goes out and chases the scanner all night and does what they call stringer, where he goes out and just tries to get footage to then give or sell to someone to use for media purposes, or to use for himself for media purposes. Anyway, there you go. You can see that right there. He's on a traffic crash. I don't have what town he's in, but it is in California. So I'm going to keep that going on there. Mount Etna is supposed to be going, but right now it looks pretty quiet. So I'm keeping an eye on that. You know, I have to tell you guys, one of the things that has always bothered me, and I'm not going to get into a deep discussion about this tonight. We're well into the second hour, but I got to tell you guys, I've never, ever been happy with what they did at Ground Zero. I just have never been happy with what they did there. I just have this strange, overwhelming feeling that I think that people actually believe. Let me reframe what I'm trying to say here. I don't like what they did with the location where the buildings were. And I've always had a real problem with this. I wrote an article years ago that was published a couple places. I'm really just have never been happy with what they did there. When the bad guy comes and takes down 2 buildings and you only put back 1, you're capitulating. You're basically saying, look, don't attack us again. We're only going to put it halfway back. And I was kind of wondering how everybody else feels about that. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. I certainly don't feel I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know. I have had issues with this ever since, and of course, there's nothing that can be done about it. It's long since over with at this point. But that being said, I've always just felt like I was just not happy with what's happened. That's the 9/11 museum, and that is the footprint of one of the buildings. They left them a hole in the ground. I think they did this on purpose to capitulate, to basically get them off our back. Is we're not going to build them back. And we should have built them back. We should have built them back exactly the way they were. New, modern, shiny, pretty, efficient. Sure, but build them back. Build them back the way they were. No, neighbor, the only memorial that would have been perfect is if they would have put it back. I mean, that's it. If they could have put it back, that would. I turned the volume up just a little bit. I'm pegging out though. I'm almost on the red line. Yeah, you should build it back bigger and stronger. It should have been 1 story higher, and it should have been 10 foot wider. I don't care. It should have been a little bigger. Should have been a little stronger, a little better, a lot prettier. Whatever. But they should have built it back. By taking so many years to replace it, and by literally where those buildings used to sit is now a hole in the ground. And that's disrespectful any way you look at it. I don't understand how this ever even got approved. How do we decide one day, hey, instead of building the building back, we're just going to leave it knocked down and we're going to put a hole there and we'll remember all the people that died because we can look down in this hole. Does that, I mean, I don't know, guys. This one's bugged me for a long time. This is a live shot of Ground Zero and the footprint of what used to be number 1 and number 2 World Trade, the World Trade Center, the World Trade Plaza. And I just have never felt right about this. It makes me very uneasy. And I'd like to know what you guys think. Should we have built this thing back? Or should we have capitulated like we did? Or do you feel that we didn't capitulate, that we did fine? We built 1 building back and that's good. All right, I'm going to do a poll. I want to see how you guys think about this. And so, hold on. God, these things are a pain in the ass. There we go. All right, I started a poll. And you guys can go ahead and select on there what you think. Yeah, I kind of agree it should have been kind of the same building, maybe a little bigger, a little better, maybe a lot better, but a little bigger. It should have been built to modern standards. It should have all the latest innovations and all the latest everything. I believe they should have built it back to be very similar to what was there, and not go overboard, and build back pretty much just what was there, but build it to modern standards. Yeah, I had just retired from the fire department literally weeks before this happened, and I was still on the department as a part-time lieutenant, basically helping out. They would call me in for shifts, and I stayed on for about a year and helped out after I officially retired. But the point is I was still on the department, but only as a part-time lieutenant at that point. I was no longer the chief. But we tried to go. We certainly did try to go. But they only needed so many firefighters. They needed like several hundred specialists, and they had 100,000 firefighters around the country sign up. And you know, I think about it, had they taken me, had I reported for duty, and had I went there and did that very difficult work, which I would have done, I'd be dead already. Almost all the guys that were down in that shit digging are all dead. That's another thing they don't talk about enough. All the names are etched in there, but not the names of the dead that we lost since 9/11. We didn't etch those names. The hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of firefighters that have died from mysterious cancers. You know, we had that down here. We had an engine with 5 guys on it respond to a pesticide fire. Within 6 or 7 years, they were all dead. Mysterious cancers. And they were all middle-aged guys in their 30s and 40s. Something we don't talk about as a society, but our firefighters face that risk all the time. So I think it's important that we keep that in mind too. All right. I don't know. I'm going to take a look here and see what you guys think, because I'm interested. I'm interested in what you guys think. Let's see here. Looks like build both back better and bigger, 69%. Build it back exactly like it was, 25%. And only, I believe, only 1% of the people, 1% of you, only one of you, says we should have did what they did. So that's pretty bad when you consider, and you're not wrong. Nobody's wrong. We just disagree on this. That's all. No big deal. But I want you guys to see that 15 out of the 16 people that voted don't like what they did, or didn't like, or don't think they should have did what they did. So that's, to me, that's significant. That's significant. Yeah. Yeah, there was truck swapping. I've seen some neat stuff. Like after Hurricane Andrew, Florida City had lost all their fire trucks, police cars, ambulances, everything was gone. And 3 days after the storm, a car carrier pulled in and it had 8 Crown Victorias on it. And they pulled up in there, and it said police, had a police badge on it, had stripes, had a red and blue light bar on top, had a siren, had a cage in the back. Beautiful, brand new Ford Crown Victorias, right? And in the middle of the badge, it was the Ford logo. And underneath it, it said donated by Ford Motor Company. And they gave them 8 cars to Florida City so they could get back to work. So yeah, stuff like that's really cool. We were down there. We had fire trucks and ambulances and cop cars and emergency management vehicles and people and equipment, all and comms units and command units, all down there from Lee County, from Fort Myers. We all went down, and we're helping out down there. So it's a big deal. All right, let's see here. All right, anything else you guys got? Throw in there. I'll see what's going on. We'll do a little news roundup here. Oops, wrong one. I need... There it is. Okay, so we'll go back to here. We've got this pretty wet system here moving through Nashville. It's moving from the Mississippi River all the way into central North Carolina, and it also includes Kentucky and Tennessee quite extensively. So lots of rain moving across. Also some light rain in Florence and Huntsville, and also Blairsville, Dahlonega, the mountains, Clayton, up in that area, some light rain moving through. So all this whole system moving through, and then even some more rain. Look at this, rain and a wintry mix moving in to Burlington and Bloomington. So some stuff coming down here. Davenport getting some fairly heavy snow right now, as well as Cedar Rapids. So we've got this next storm system diving down out of Canada here. And you can see the orange and red and purple. That's a wintry mix. So some pretty bad driving conditions tonight between Omaha and Des Moines. All right, so there you go. That's the weather roundup. Let's do a little news roundup here and see what the hell's going on in the world. Oh, here we go. Bernie Sanders showed his ass again today at a hearing. So there you go. There's nothing new there. He normally will go outside and wave his cane at the moon. He's had some success with that, but that Bernie Sanders man, he's a nutbag. I don't know what some of these people that are in office. It's like, what are we going to ever do to get these people out of office? You know, whatever happens, how are we going to get rid of these people? Like Bernie Sanders, that's 100 years old, and he's going to probably run again. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. All right. All right, as far as, let's see, what else is going on here? Yeah, they're saying that this sit out that they did and all the yelling that they did and the whole thing where they sat when Trump said, you know, I want people that, you know, man, oh man, I'm telling you, the articles are coming out fast and furious. This is going to be the big ad. I'm telling you, it's the big ad. Yeah, it's baseball spring training, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the camera. I keep putting it on target and it keeps moving. And the AI presets are off. I don't know what the hell this thing's doing. It's kind of strange. It like literally just went crazy on me. I don't know what's going on with this damn thing. Whatever. I don't care. All right, so anyway, whatever. Oh my God. It literally just went crazy on me and just started flying around the room. I hope these things aren't broke. I spent $150 a piece on these cameras, and they didn't give me any trouble at the other night when I was at the whatever you want to call it, the parade. They didn't give me a hard time. They worked very well. But ever since I brought them back, they've given me a really hard time here. Three shows in a row now, 3 or 4 shows in a row, where they won't stay where I put them and things like that. So I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go. I put that on preset 1. It should stay now. I get so sick of that. It's like I don't want any of this stuff on. The tracking is not on. Nothing is on. Human tracking's off. AI mode's off. Hand tracking is off. And it's on preset 1. So it should stay locked there, hopefully. All right. Okay, let's see what that looks like now. All right. All right, so anyway, Christ, hopefully it'll stay there. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't sync right. Yeah, the Dem State of the Union out on the mall, there was more media and YouTubers there than there was actual participants. So yeah, it was small, maybe 30 or 40 people at the most that were actually, there was probably 20 people talking and 20 people that showed up and 30 people in the media. My AI camera's gone sentient. That's what it is. Eventually it's going to not come on unless I do something that it wants me to do. I don't know. So anyway. Trying to see if there's anything that's come on the news. Nope, I told you the only thing going on in the Guthrie case, the only thing is they returned the home back to the family this evening. Yeah, my camera is where Skynet starts. Yeah, I don't know. Oh boy. All right, so that's what we got there. Oh, Maduro's threatening to sue us. Well, good luck with that. I guess that's about all you got left there, bucko. All right, so the drought is over. We had 3 spotless days in 4 years. We've only had 3 spotless days, and they were the last 3 days. There was no sunspots on the sun at all. And there you go. There's just none, except today, just today, just in the last few hours, we have a weak sunspot moving around on the eastern limb, and it's going to come around and could be geo-effective later towards the weekend. We'll see how it goes, but right now still not a lot going on. Oh, the sun is fairly quiet and I am tired. All right, so yeah, rocket launches, we can always take a look at that. The next launch is on February 27th, so Friday next launch. 4:52 a.m. It's a middle of the night launch, and it's from Cape Canaveral. So we're going to wake some folks up with that one. And then the next one doesn't go up until March 1st. On March 1st, we're going to launch a Falcon 9 from Vandenberg at 3 a.m. And we're going to launch a Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral at 7:07 p.m. So that's on March 1st. And then after that, it goes till the 4th. But that's what we've got there. Has been a little more active out there on the size, talking about seismology. It has been a little more active out there. We're starting to see quite a bit of activity all around the Pacific Rim. And there we go. I always try to frame things up and before I put them on, but there you go. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Let's go ahead and frame that up a little bit better for you guys. All right, here we go. Look at that, guys. Been busy. Been busy. This is a 5.4 in Afghanistan. And that's Myanmar. There's a 5.1 there, and then a 5 in southern Sumatra, Indonesia. And then here's another big one here in New Guinea. That's in Papua New Guinea. And then another one up here, Shishuku, Japan. There's another one there. That one's a 5.2 and another 4.9. And then up here, again, on the end of the Russian peninsula, east of the Kuril Islands, a 5.2 there. And so you can see there, it's been very active. Nothing really huge, but still, that's a lot of moderately strong earthquakes there. I'm not sure, neighbor. I haven't heard. Like I said, I don't do a lot of international stuff. Yep. Well, there you go. And as far as the volcanoes go, the only one that I know of that's active right now is Fuego, and tonight it's been fairly quiet. But I don't know if that will last or not. I don't know if we're in. You know how these things, they go through periods, and unlike so many other things in nature, they're some of the most unpredictable things in nature, volcanoes and earthquakes, because we can't see all of the dynamics. Matter of fact, we can see very few of the dynamics that actually go into when and where and how strong they're going to erupt. Mama, you want to go out? Mama? She starts digging in the box, and I go open the door, and she runs out, and she'll scratch to get back in about 10 minutes. She would much rather do her business outside. Yeah. All right, I'm going to end this poll. We had 17 people on the poll, and the last person that said something said they would like to build nothing back. So there you go. But I think the one thing overall that we agree with here is that only 1 out of 18 people actually felt that we should have done what we did. I think that's important to note that. Most of us wanted to build it back bigger and better. That's what I wanted to do. All right. All right, let's see here. All right, so that's what we've got on the seismic monitor. I don't really have anything space weather-wise to show you. There's not a whole lot of aurora going on right now, but there is a possibility for people in the northern tier tonight. You might be able to see the aurora, and here I will show that to you. This is the aurora forecast, or is this current? Hold on. This, I believe, is current. Yeah, this is live. So this, if you live in the northern tier and you've got clear skies, you might be able to see the aurora tonight, and especially for people in North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Right now, even the upper UP of Michigan, you might be able to see that. All right. So yeah, that's what's going on with the Aurora. Trying to see if there's anything else going on tonight. Whew. All right. Yeah, and Maggie's Meals, you were there. I tell you, I have two friends that were there that were close to there. One responded to there, and it's incredible. I'm honest about it today. I had a problem after 9/11. I stacked up three TVs. And I had the three networks on, and it was wall-to-wall coverage, and I was staying up 24 hours a day. I couldn't sleep. I would take short naps in my chair watching the three TVs. And eventually I had several radios and a scanner and all. I was literally I had become obsessed with the coverage, and things were just, I don't know, it was bad. It was kind of bad. And my family had to come in one day and say, "Look, we're going to take you for a while. We're going to go do some stuff. We got to get you out of here." And I mean, it was like I just couldn't put it down. I couldn't walk away. And then that developed into the Gulf War, Operation Desert Shield, Operation Desert Storm, and I ended up just basically becoming a news junkie right then and there. And I had MSLSD, the Communist News Network, and Fox News. And those were the three channels I had up 24/7, 365. They were all wall to wall. Yeah. Has anyone in the chat room produced your two forms of identification to shovel snow? I think it's so cool that in Memdani you can vote with no ID. You don't need ID to vote. However, if you're going to shovel snow for the city, you'll need two forms of ID. Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder if they're taking illegals or legals or citizens. What are they wanting? Matt, I don't remember that. I bet you that show is posted, though. I'd love to go back and listen to that. I'm a media junkie. I've gone back and watched the morning of 9/11 on every broadcast channel. They're all saved online. You can NBC the morning of as it happened, 9/11. Just put it in; it'll come up. You can watch where they cut into programming, where it comes up in the even the anchor's like, oh my God, because they see what's going on. Yeah, I have become a bit of a collector of stuff like that, so I'm gonna go look for that. I do believe I have the show where George Norrie announced that Art Bell had died. I do, and he died in the evening, so it was live on the air when it was announced. But yeah, I collect stuff like that. TV stations that get hit by hurricanes and tornadoes, and I actually worked at a TV station that we took 12 inches of water in our studio during a hurricane. So I people working in those conditions and still getting the product on the air, it's pretty amazing. So I've always been like crazy about like breaking news and breaking weather and getting news out from difficult and impossible situations. Yeah. Yeah, you can go back if you're into 9/11 stuff and you haven't watched it yet. There's several people that have put together play-by-play. There's one that's air traffic controllers and phone calls between air traffic controllers and stuff. That's really cool. And they actually show video and pictures of what's going on with this explainer of what's going on while you're listening to the air traffic control center, and you're listening to phone calls. What's going on? And there's even a lot of the phone calls that came out of the planes that we lost. And it's heartbreaking. But if you haven't heard it yet, and it's something that's out there that you can hear, I'll tell you, they don't publish black box recordings anymore because they screwed the public up so bad with those things. Do I agree? No, of course not. I believe in 100% transparency. However, I would not go listen to those cockpit voice recorders. There's a bunch of them out there online. Don't go listen to them. They haunted me. I don't know why I did that. Why did I do that? I listen to those things, and I listen to those men trying to save their lives, and man, it haunted me for weeks. And I damned even thinking about it. I never will do it again. Anyway, I won't do that again, that's for sure. Okay, yes, thank you, Canna Club. That is one of the ones I'm talking about. It's they call it the 9/11 dashboard. And what it is, if you view it in 4K, you need to view it on a big TV in 4K. It actually has all of the information on the screen at one time. The airplane, where it's tracking, the videos on the media, what kind of planes everything's right there on the screen. So that link that Canna Club put in, if you guys are interested, and maybe you have a child that's turning 18 or 16 and you want to sit down with them and say, look, I want you to hear how this happened to our nation. And by the way, I don't know if you realize it, we're coming up on the 25th. And it's kind of weird that we are going to be on the 25th anniversary of 9/11 in September. And we're going to be at the 250th birthday of our country in July. So a couple of big birthdays coming up. Some good, some not so good. Yeah. Yeah, there was no information being disseminated to anybody on scene, obviously, because it was crazy. Some of the footage from 9/11 from that day that still impressed me was the reporter that was standing under the building. He managed to escape with his cameraman, and that cameraman kept it rolling the whole time. And the cloud come by, and people were running for their lives and ducking under everything, and the debris was coming down. Yeah. The third building went down because of damage sustained to the underground. So you have to understand with these buildings, I keep hearing these conspiracy theories. And by the way, I fell for these theories for a while, and I've completely debunked them. They're just complete shit. But I will tell you this, okay? I don't just write off conspiracy theories. I even studied whether we went to the moon or not. And guess what? We went to the moon. Anyway, here's the thing. These 110-story buildings that weigh hundreds of tons, thousands of tons, tens of thousands of tons, come crashing down. The ground underneath them was level after level after level of parking garage, of underground subway, underground electricity, underground water, underground communication lines, underground everything. There was 10 or 15 stories of underground, okay? So when you looked at these buildings, that's what you saw, okay? You saw the surface in the building, but you didn't realize there was 10 or 12 or 15 stories, depending on where you were, underneath that building, okay? And not even a basement. I mean, the whole area was just a huge underground, okay? So, when those buildings came down, they destabilized all of the structure that was holding up that other building, okay? And it held for the longest time. They heard creaking in that building. Rudy Giuliani himself was down near that building. They heard it creaking, okay? We've had Rudy Giuliani in our studio on our show. My host co-wrote Pataki's book. So, I mean, when it comes to 9/11, all right, there's a lot of things that people don't understand because they don't want to understand. When it comes to that third building, it went down specifically because all of the area around it was damaged. The building itself was damaged. The underground was damaged. You had pipes flowing water. You had all that. You had the seawater coming in from the cracks that had been made in the big bowl down there that they had all this sitting in. And what ended up happening, okay, was everything just slowly became more and more destabilized, and that building could not stay up anymore. That's what happened. Yes, I mean, think about that. This is probably one of the largest forces that man has ever brought down on itself like this. Think about this. We've never dropped anything like these buildings before. This is a first. And we dropped it into a subway, into a hole that existed, into an underground that this other building was also sitting on. Okay, it was all the same foundation. All right, so when all this underground collapsed, it completely destabilized everything else. I'm surprised we didn't lose additional buildings. Oh wow, Yellow, I hate to hear that. I can see how some people did spiral down. The suicide rate went up, and also the people that just died of depression went up. It was crazy. Yeah, there was cases where the electric was still flowing. There was the water was still all flowing through there. Big, huge, 3-foot wide pipes of water just dumping down in there. The fire from all the building coming down and burning. And yeah, all that finally took its toll, and that other building just had to come down. Gravity takes its toll. Wow. Yep, you can only imagine what kind of force that came down with. Yeah, God bless all the guys. We lost a lot of guys that day. We felt that in the fire service for a long time. I mean, to this day, when someone mentions 9/11, my thoughts immediately go to truck after truck, after engine, after engine, after ambulance, after squad, after support unit, after chief vehicle. They all drove in there. There's another video. If you want to break your heart, there's another video that has the last transmission from all the people they lost down there. They've got transmissions from the truckies, the captains, and they'll be like, this is the last time we heard from this guy. It's heartbreaking, but it goes in and deep dives the scanner traffic that we have from that day. It's all out there. It's all available. You can still become obsessed with 9/11 if you haven't had the opportunity. I don't suggest it. The Pentagon missile conspiracy, come on. I actually am friends with Rich Kolko, who was an FBI agent that responded to D.C. that day, okay? And yes, there were people that reported a missile strike. There was. But for every one of those, there was 400 people that reported a plane that was flying around and went into the building. So is there reports of missiles that hit the building? Yes. But that's not what happened, okay? When you have 4,000 witnesses, some of them are going to get it wrong. They hear, and they look, and it looks like a missile hit the building. It was a plane. It was going very fast. And a plane from the side looks like a missile out of the corner of your eye. And so, yeah, that's all that was. They found all 3 sets of gear. They found both engine cores. and they identified DNA identified quite a bit of the remains. So yeah, no, yeah, no. Building 7, didn't we just? I thought we just talked about that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There was one building that there was several buildings that were able to remain standing. There was one that went down hours later, and it was due to the damage in the underground. No, it was not a systematic demolition. There was nothing to cover up there. No. No, as a matter of fact, they evacuated that building early on because it was creaking. Both Giuliani and Pataki talk about that. They got out of that building early on, and it was creaking, it was moving, and you can see the damage to the building in aerial photos of the day. And you can see that there was shifts, and the building itself was under stress. It had been hit very hard by debris coming down from overhead, but that's not what took the building down. What took the building down was the damage to the general underground structure that was holding it up. Because right next to the building, on the other side of the street from that building, a 110-story building came down, and then another 110-story building came down. So if you can't understand why that would destabilize the building right across the street, that, by the way, is in the same plaza and built on the same foundation over the same subways and water lines and everything else. Yeah, Crowbar, I'm not as familiar with that one. I was in middle school. Oh boy, I don't know. I think COVID was more damaging on our economy than 9/11 was. 9/11, after 9/11, within a week, everybody was back to work. Kids were back to school. Things went on. Other parts, some parts of our economy dipped a little bit, like vacationing and flying and stuff, while other parts of our economy, like rental cars and driving and things like that, actually went up. So I don't see that 9/11 had that much of an effect on our economy. So it depends on how you look at it. 9/11 was probably more damaging on our ego as a country. It was more damaging on our country physically. We lost two of our biggest monuments and buildings that were slap full of our people. So that's huge. However, COVID killed a lot of people. And the fake vaccine killed a lot of people. So when you really start looking at it, COVID was really bad as well. Okay. And so, no, I don't know how you want to answer that. It depends on if we're looking from the death standpoint. They're probably both about the same. COVID could actually be worse. We probably lost more people due to COVID, a lot more people than we lost on 9/11. On the economy, COVID was definitely worse. COVID was 100 times worse on our economy because of these leftists shutting down cities, counties, and states for days, weeks, and months and years at a time. Thank God I lived in Florida. We did 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and then we opened everything back up. Yep, Maggie's, I'm telling you, when the leftists with COVID, they ruined themselves. One of the biggest things that the left has done to screw themselves over the years is how they handled COVID. It's almost like they were afraid of it. They were scared of it. They weren't making rational decisions about it. And it's such a shame. It really is. I really wish that they would have made more common sense decisions about COVID. And they should have done a lot more common sense stuff and a lot less heavy-handed mandating and bullying and things like that. In Florida, we kept Florida open. Matter of fact, we made it a thing down here. Florida's open. And we like it that way. And you know what happened? All the hotels down here started offering up stuff really cheap. And a bunch of us down here started going and staying in places that we normally wouldn't get to stay in. You know, go stay at a nice place at the beach for a week. They'll give it to me for, you know, $600 or something, because they're dead. They're dead right now. And so we took advantage of some of that down here, because we're still open. And even though people weren't necessarily coming here because of COVID, we were still going and doing all the shit we normally do. While people are getting arrested for being in California, they arrested a guy for being out in a canoe fishing. He was 100 yards from the nearest human, and the cop went out there and wrote him a ticket in his canoe. And I can't live in that oppressive bullshit. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, the masks are fine if you're a doctor and you're trying to keep your spit out of your patient. Masks are great. Masks do not stop viruses. And if you have a very specific mask that does stop viruses, what you found was nobody actually ever had those real N35, whatever they were. I don't know. Nobody really ever had the right ones. And it's funny because I used to see people wearing them around, and they had the piece in backwards. It was actually filtering the air going out instead of coming in. No, Victor, I have not been to the Big Apple. I don't know if I'm ever going to go. There's like a $50 cover charge just to go to see the city, to go over the bridge. I don't remember. You guys got to remember, I don't pay to park, and I don't pay tolls, because I believe both of those are a sign of failed government. And so I don't pay to park on property that's mine, and I don't pay to drive across property that's mine. So I don't do those things. You grew up in the town COVID started in? You grew up in Weiyun, was it Weiyun, China? Yeah, the N35. There was some N35s that would actually stop the virus from coming through the mask. But those were so rare. And like I said, I probably only saw them 10 times. And 3 of those times, people had the rebreather mask part in backwards. Yeah, 3M makes really good stuff, I have to admit. I don't have a problem with that. When it comes to reflective Scotch-Light striping and stuff like that, and when it comes to safety equipment that we used to use a lot at the fire departments, I mean, 3M stuff's the best. Yeah, I've still got my cloth mask at my work. My work gave out these cloth masks because they were comfortable, and they didn't care. We were supposed to wear them for a while. It's about 6 months. They asked us to wear them, and I would wear them until I would wear it between my car and my studio. That's all I would do. Or if I went to the break room to get a drink, I would put the mask on, go to the break room, get my drink, come back, take the mask back off. They were fine with that. They just wanted you to, when you were in groups of people, they just wanted it was common sense down here. Nobody thought they were going to get in trouble for not having a mask on. And a lot of people didn't wear them. They didn't have to. If you wanted to wear them, you could. I wore it at work, and that was it. I didn't wear it anywhere else. I didn't wear my mask, but I work a place, and my boss asked me to wear it. I'm going to wear it. You know, he's got his reasons, and he finally came out. Our bosses came out and said, "You ain't got to worry about those no more." Whoop, that's Mama Kitty. I hear you, Mama. Come on, big girl. Come on, Mama. You gonna host now? Did you do your business? Did you get your business all done, Mom Kitty? Ooh, she's cold. Can't believe how cold it's been down here in Florida, for Christ's sake. It's Florida, isn't it? I thought it was. Could be wrong. My Lord. All right. I don't see anything else going on. Bernie Sanders, this is what you do. What was that? Did you bring a ghost in with you? Something really heavy just fell over there. But I don't see anything fall. I don't know. What the F? Mama Kitty. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Yeah, that's another thing too. These leftists went after these churches for holding services. And I can remember that one pastor, they took him to jail because he held a service and he was holding it outside. They had brought folding chairs out into a field next to the church, and they were all sitting 6 feet apart wearing masks, and they went out and arrested that man and put him in jail. That's what liberals will do. Liberals know not of freedom or democracy or any of that bullshit. Oh, well. I love when I used to see people in their car and they're sitting by themselves in a car with the windows up and the air conditioner on and they're wearing a mask. And I would always go like this and they would look at me and I would try to make them embarrassed. Like I'd go, "Hey, your mask is still on. Your mask is still on." And they'd be like, I go, "Your mask is still on." And I try to see if I could get them to roll the window down. And then when they'd roll the window down, and a few times they did, if they'd roll the window down, I'd yell, "Your mask is on. You're inside a car. You can't get it from cars." Yeah, it's dropped into the 40s here. It's a proverbial blizzard. Yes, they put masks on the vents in their car. It's like, what? Do you think that the COVID's going to come out of the guy's car over there and go through his little relief vents near his trunk in the back of his car, and then the COVID's going to exit down under the car and come out by the tire, and the COVID will go across the road and underneath your car where it comes up beside your car and gets sucked into your intake vent, which is actually up on the top of your hood, and then it goes through your system and through the fan and through the coils, so it's all cooled and nice and dry, and then when it comes, and then boom, the COVID hits you right in the face. "Oh, I got COVID from the guy in the car over there." How stupid is that? My God. We did some stupid shit down here too. I saw guys wearing masks where they wrapped toilet paper around their head. That was hilarious. They told these guys, "You can't come in here without masks." There was some businesses that were owned by libs. And I was there one night, and I saw these guys get rejected out of this place. And I hung around because I wanted to see what they did. They went down down and got some toilet paper, and they wrapped the toilet paper all around their face, and they came back, and the guy let them in. Yeah, what they would do is they wanted you to wear your mask to the table. Then once you were seated, you could take the mask off. The whole thing was stupid. These liberals were just like, "Look, we got to do something. I know this is stupid, but we got to do something." That's literally the conversation that liberals have with themselves. "Hey, look, we got to do something, even if it's stupid." I almost, Merlin's back. I'll agree with you on this one. I think there was some testing going on. At least, if not on purpose, trust me, they took note. They understand where breaking points were. And I think they understand that places like Texas and Florida, we're not putting up with this bullshit. We're not. And I think they learned a valuable lesson on that COVID. I think what they learned was, hey, our automatons in our blue states is one thing, but these right-wing states like Florida and Texas, they're not going to fall for this shit. I mean, The vaccine was bad. It actually, they're saying now there was probably no appreciable gain from taking it, but I think it hurt a lot of people. I think it actually took lives. They refused to track it. Anytime they refuse to track something, that means they already know it's going to be bad. And they did not track it. They refused to track injury or death or reports of problems or site reactions or anything from the COVID vaccine. They didn't. They kept incredible records on COVID. You could die in a motorcycle crash. And if they stuck you, they would stick your dead body when you got down to the morgue. They would stick your dead body, and if they could find one COVID cell in there, then you died of COVID. Even though you got your head cut off on a motorcycle, you died of COVID. That's how you died, COVID. Because if you died with COVID, you died of COVID. And that's the way the liberals counted, and that's the way they were even doing it down here. And we started looking, and we're like, look, they reported 10 COVID deaths. So you ask them, what are the circumstances behind these 10 COVID deaths that we had in Lee County this week, or this day, or whatever? Well, this guy was in an automobile accident, and he was killed, and he tested positive for COVID. This guy died of a heart attack, and but he was COVID positive. We had tested him. Okay, did the COVID have anything to do with his heart attack? No, we don't think so. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. COVID had nothing to do with him wrecking his motorcycle either. COVID had nothing to do with any of this. But if they died with one COVID cell in their veins, it was a COVID death. And so that was simply another way to pad the numbers, to make you feel more afraid or more worried about what's going to happen, okay? So that way they could get more funding and they could get more power and they can make more rules, because that's really what they want to do. That's what it's all about, power, control, rules. The vax made a lot of people sick. I never took it. And most of my friends never took it. It was not pushed down here. Biden was trying to make it to where any company that had more than 50 employees had to do it. And our company was preparing to have to come up with some way of doing this. They were going to try to mandate us, and we were all going to walk. There would not have been a show, I can tell you that right now. Both the morning and the evening show, we're both going to walk. The staff, the show, the host, the talent, everybody, we were all going to walk. Not because of our boss. Our boss was doing what he had to do. You know, we're actually quite happy with where we work. But if he was made to get rid of us, then, or if he was made to enforce this upon us, then we were just going to walk. Yeah, and the only people in Florida that were forced to do it were people who were in medical professions. That's it. And that was because federal mandate, not Florida. Florida never had a mandate. Florida never mandated anything, just so you know. Okay? All this came from the federal government. Yes, it was an example of peer pressure. It was also an example of propaganda. It was an example of censored speech. Remember, if you got on Facebook or on YouTube and said, I think COVID's a hoax, they would remove your channel. Even right now, if I say this too many times, they will demonetize me still today if I discuss COVID too much. Yes. Here's the thing. Of the people I know that got, now this might be anecdotal, but I also believe that this is a fact. I know about 10 people that got the shot, and I know about 10 people that didn't get the shot, for a fact, of all my friends down here and the people I work with. The people that didn't get the shot only got COVID once or twice. I know people that got the shot and they've been getting the booster, and they're getting COVID twice a year, and they've been getting it ever since. So, man, what's the deal? the truth is, not only I'm not even sure that it doesn't help you get it, because it seems like people that have the shots are getting it a lot more than people that don't have the shots. I've had it 3 times. It sucks. But it's just a harsh flu. It's what it is. The first time I was down for 10 days, 11 days, back to work after 12. The second time it was 8 days back to work in 10. It sucked. I don't like losing the pay. I don't like missing work, and I certainly don't like being deathly ill like that. The third time I got it was just about 6 months ago. And it went through my work. I picked it up somewhere there. And but I shook it this time in about 6 days. Back to work in 8. So not so bad. Yeah, that's another thing. The testing that we were all being made to do was flawed. It was very, very flawed. That they're saying now that testing only had about a 60% accuracy. Yet we were counting on that. We were going back to work based on that. We were staying home and losing money because of that. Yes, yeah. Yeah, Cuomo did that. I do it with everyone. Yeah, Cuomo did that. He thought that was going to be a good idea to just put everybody in there like that, and that's exactly what he did. And look what happened. Here he is. I knew I had him.
I do it with everyone. Black and white, young and old, straight and LGBTQ, powerful people, friends, strangers, people who I meet on the street.
How can you argue with that? He does it with everyone. He'll do it with you if you stand still long enough. Oh, yeah, a lot of people do die from the flu. Man, there was a few times when I had it that I thought I might die from the flu. I'll be honest, and I'm kind of not really kidding. I mean, there was a couple times there where I'm like, if this gets any worse, I'm going to need to be hospitalized. That first time I had it was bad. Oh, man. Yep, this came from a lab in China. They were testing it. I do believe that 100%. And it was they were trying to use it for like range of study type stuff and different things, and it got away from them. We know that. It wasn't because Stan's dad had sex with Mickey Mouse over there. It was not that. I know everybody watched South Park and you guys think that's what happened, but that's not it. It's not it. Huh? So that's not what happened. By the way, if you guys don't watch South Park, oh my God, you've got a lot of catching up to do. That is an interesting pattern, comics and robots. I'd like to think there's nothing to that. God, if I started not liking red meat, I don't know what I would do with myself. I don't know. Yeah. Well, with COVID, there's not much they could do. I never saw a doctor on the COVID because I figured I'm just bringing COVID into another doctor's office. You know, I don't know. A lot of people, when they get a flu, they go to their doctor and they get antibiotics and all that. But I'm not convinced that any of that even does anything. I almost think that they just, I don't know. I just tough it out. You know what I do? I buy these things that are like, they're to boost your immune system. And even if I'm sick, I take these. I take 2 or 3 of them in the morning and 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It's all kinds of vitamins and all the shit you need when you're sick. And they're like gummies. And I'll start eating 3 or 4 of those twice a day. And chicken soup. I've got 4 or 5 cans of chicken soup up there right now. And that's because when I get sick, that's all I can keep down. They didn't think the janitors would sell the dead lab animals at the local market. That's hilarious. Yeah, South Park is. I loved The Simpsons and I loved Family Guy. And then South Park came out, and I've just. Those other 2 shows don't even interest me much anymore. I can still watch Family Guy to it. I do like Seth MacFarlane. I love the Orville, and I love his work that he does. He does a lot of Star Trek because he's a big Star Trek fan. So I do like Family Guy. I quit watching. I haven't watched Simpsons in 20 years, 25 years. I don't know. The moment I started watching South Park, that's the only thing I watched that's like that. It's kind of a crazy thing, but it kind of ruined all the other ones for me. And there was a bunch of other ones, Bob's Burgers and something about a forest park or something. There was a bunch of those that came out about that same time. I couldn't get into any of them. I was into South Park, and that was it. King of the Hill, that's another one. Carlotta loves King of the Hill. That's a good show. Oh, Peg. But I think that that one there, it's too vanilla for me. I'm sorry. It's just too vanilla. Yes, Seth MacFarlane was in Star Trek. What the hell is going on? I'll be right back. Just talks amongst yourselves and talk amongst yourselves there, and I'll be right back. I gotta go see what this noise is outside. There's some like. I don't know. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me just. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. I think they're working on a motor or something next door. And that was Mama attacking Ed, because he's not supposed to be in here. Here she's getting pissy. Okay, so guys, go ahead and give me anything else you want to discuss tonight, because I'm getting ready to sign off. It's been a very long night, following a fairly long day, and I'm going to pay. I have a special song just for tonight, so I'm going to play it one more time, back to the first version. Really? That's interesting, Merlin. I would love to get some information on that. sinkholes are a phenomenon down here, and they come mostly from they're caused by areas under the ground drying up or moving around because of water movement. Normally, they happen more in dry season than wet season, and we are in a big drought down here right now, and so that's it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, this is all related to the strange vibrations and all people are feeling at night. Yep, Central Florida, man. I'm going to look into that more. I'm going to have Grok do a deep dive on that for me and see what we can find. Yeah, it's crazy. It's China trying to create a wormhole. It could be. It could be related to a lot of different things. I don't necessarily think it's that, or the collider is causing some kind of destabilization of the space-time continuum or anything like that. But hey, there's a lot of this shit we don't understand, you know? And so it happened in Star Trek, so we know it's true. So anyway, let's see here. Yep, Florida's big for sinkholes. All right, let me see if I can find that. Kid Rock, side B. Got it. Okay, I'm going to play 2 songs on the way out, guys. And I'm going to play Trump in the House of Haters. And then I'm going to play Trump Kid Rock version B. All right, guys, if you want this music, you can have it. It's in the folder over on the Google Drive. You guys can go get that anytime you want. I have the link if you need it. I'll go ahead and put that in here. Give me just 1 second. Wait for this thing to load. This computer is very fast unless I'm in the middle of a multi-screen broadcast. Let's see, share, copy link. Okay, so all you do is go to this link and you can have the music, and I'm going to go ahead and drag in the songs from tonight as well, since I'm here. And I'll go ahead and drag in all these, all the new ones here. Whew. Okay. All right. I'm dragging in the 2 I made tonight. So they're now in there. All right. All right, guys, we're going to get going. I'm going to go to bed. I got a lot of cats that need to go to bed, so, you know, got to do what I got to do. All right, everybody, have a good night out there. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. My name's Ian, and it's been my pleasure to be your co-host tonight, or your host, whatever you want to call me. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Well, that last night Trump took the stage, bold as brass, talking about the winds that kick the swamp's ass. Economy booming, borders locked tight, no new wars raging, peace in sight. Brought jobs back home, taxes cut low, veterans honored, watched the good times flow. He listed them out, clear as day, but the Dems just sat there looking away. Oh, the State of the Union, what Trump dropping truth bombs, setting America free. But the Dems threw shade, acting like fools, disrespecting heroes, breaking all the rules, heckling and hollering, boycotts in the hall, snubbing the hockey champs, ignoring the call. They call it protest, I call it spite. How while Trump's making history under those bright lights. Yeah. He pinned medals on folks who serve with might. Erica Kirk, our two, shining bright. But the left side of the aisle wouldn't stand or clap, sitting like statues, taking a nap. The women's hockey team, gold medals gleaming, snubbed the invite, what a liberal dreaming. Trump praised the grit, but they turned him down flat. Guess winning for America ain't where it's at. Oh, the State of the Union, what a sight to see. Trump dropping truth bombs, setting America free. But the Dems threw shade, acting like fools, disrespecting heroes, breaking all the rules, heckling and hollering, boycotts in the hall, snubbing the hockey champs, ignoring the call. They call it protest, I call it spite. How while Trump's making history under those bright lights. Outside the Capitol, protests in the street. Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis heat. LA burning with anti-America chants, while Trump's inside crushing their socialist rants. Counter speeches flying, calling him a liar. Catherine Clark skipping, fanning the fire. You'll see boycotts, 5 Dem events in tow. But Trump's crowd a roar, stealing the show. They shout and they boo, won't stand for the flag. Disdain for the press, what a sorry old rag. From Epstein survivors to ICE folks set free, Trump honors the real ones, but Dems disagree. They heckle the heroes, they ignore the gains, while Trump's listing victories, breaking their chains. It's deliberate spite, like their playbook demands, but America's waking up, taking a stand. Oh, the State of the Union, what a sight to see. Trump dropping truth bombs, setting America free. Dems threw their tantrums, acting so rude, but the red, white, and blues in a winning mood. Heckling and hollering, boycotts, what a joke. Snubbing the champs, going for broke. They call it resistance, I call it defeat. Trump's America's king, can't be beat. So here's to the Donald, making us proud, while the haters just whine, crying out loud. God bless the USA and Trump's golden throne. Last night's soda, he owned it alone.
No apologetic patriotism, packed with vivid imagery of trucks, beer, guns, women, and living free. Production is loud, polish it wrong, polish it wrong, polish it wrong. When a melody fires for no apologies, a straight fire, let's roll.
Woke up this morning feeling damn proud. Star stripes and waving, crowd screaming loud. Donald's back in the game, making America great. Tax cuts flowing, putting money on my plate. Unemployment low, jobs for every man. Black, white, Hispanic, you nothing the land. Supreme Court locked with justice is true. Overturning the mess that the left tried to brew. Border wall strong, illegals turning back. No more free rides on the taxpayers' back. Hell yeah, Trump. Patriot fire in your veins. Fighting for freedom through the pouring rain. No backing down, no sorry ass plea. America first, that's the way it should be. From the heartland to the sea, we stand tall with Donald leading, we won't ever fall. Patriots rise, let the eagles fly high. This is our country under God's blue sky. Energy booming, oil rigs pumping hard. Independent now, no more begging in the yard. Abraham Accords, peace in the Middle East. While haters cry foul, he's slaying the beast. Warp speed vaccine, saving lives in a flash. Criminal justice reform, cutting through the trash. Veterans get choice, no more waiting in line. Trade deals with nigga trader, making China wine. Regulation blast, saving billions quick. Economy rolling like a monster truck kick. Hell yeah, Trump. Patriot fire in your veins. Fighting for freedom through the pouring rain. No backing down, no sorry ass plea. America first, that's the way it should be. From the heartland to the sea, we stand tall with Donald leading, we won't ever fall. Patriots rise, let the eagles fly high. This is our country under God's blue sky.
But look at the fools trying to tear it apart. Socialist snakes with a black-hearted start. 10 pine, 10 walls with a joke of a guard. Putting pads in boys' rooms, man, that's low. Instead of the rise, let the cities burn bright. Now begging for peace when it's out of sight. Somali fraud in Minnesota, stealing the vote. Election scams running, choking our throat. Illegals pouring in, fraud on the rise. While real Americans open their eyes. All these ICE protests, stupid as hell. Anti-American trash, ringing the bell, blocking the streets, assaulting the law. Socialist puppets with a commie flaw. Blow up dinosaurs, guitar strumming clowns, Portland frog hopping, turning smiles to frowns. They hate our borders, want chaos to reign. Funded by Soros, driving us insane. Tampa Tim and his crew, inciting the fight. Now crying uncle when the flames burn bright. Somali schemes, voting dead from the grave. But Trump's coming back to clean up the rave. No apologies here, we're calling it straight. These riots are garbage, sealing the fate. Hell yeah, Trump, patriot fire in your veins. Fighting for freedom through the pouring rain. No backing down, no sorry ass plea. I'm America first, that's the way it should be. From the heartland to the sea, we stand tall. Donald leading, we won't ever fall. Patriots rise, let the eagles fly high. This is our country under God's blue sky. Amen. Space Force launch. Stars in our grass, religious freedom, no more liberal class. Drug prices dropping, saving folks from the pain. I boom and putting us ahead in the game. Tariffs hitting hard, bringing jobs back home. No more selling out to the globalist dome. Government efficiency, cutting the fat, dosing initiative. Yeah, we like that. Pardons for the brave, January 6th crew. Fighting for truth, what the hell would you do? Back to the protests, with a pathetic parade. Anti-law lunatics getting paid to invade. Throwing bottles at agents, obstructing the way. Comparing the floor just to lead us astray. Traffic jammed up, threats in the air. Widespread madness, do they even care? Tampa Tim hiding, calling off the dogs now after fanning the flames. Like a sacred cow, Somali fraud queen. Twisting the rules, but patriots know when nobody's fools. Just a cow restricts, make us cow her. Now these enemies go risk and water down. No city for me, the song sounded countertanic. Fingers and gifts, Parthegas, so panic. Hell yeah, Trump, patriot fire in your veins. Fighting for freedom through the pouring rain. No backing down, no sorry ass plea. America first, that's the way it should be. From the heartland to the sea, we stand tall. We're Donald leading, we won't ever fall. Patriots rise, let the eagles fly high. This is our country under God's blue sky. Yeah, that's how we do it. Trump's rub, reaches net, back and down.
All right, everybody, that's it for tonight. It's been my pleasure to be your host here on the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures, live from Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida. We hope to see you tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern, for another episode of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on YouTube, the largest broadcast platform in the world. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody. This does conclude our broadcast day. Have a safe tomorrow. Good night, everybody. 7-3, Kilo Oscar 4, Echo, Foxtrot Sierra. Clear frequency, QSY.
The sun